A report claims rail passengers would face years of disruption and increased travel times if the government cancelled HS2 and opted to upgrade existing lines instead.
The report says it would take 14 years of weekend closures if routes like the West Coast Main Line were to be improved, so they could replace the intended capacity of HS2. Our political correspondent Bob Constantine joins us now from our London studio. Now, Bob, how significant is this report?
Well, it's the latest stage, really, of the government's fight back, if I can put it that way, against critics of HS2. And it comes it'll be published tomorrow morning, and it'll come out 2 days before a crucial vote in Parliament. This is part of building the business case. It's a report that's been carried out by Network Rail and by the engineering consultants Atkins. So some critics say it is effectively doing the government's job for it. And as you say, it's come out with this extraordinary figure that if the upgrades to the West Coast, East Coast and Midlands main lines were carried out instead of HS2 to produce the extra capacity needed, it would take 14 years of weekend delays, vastly extending journey times and defeating the object of bridging the north-south divide and improving links to the Midlands. So really it depends which side of the argument you fall on. Sceptical MPs like Andrew Bridgen from North West Leicestershire say they don't believe the figures, whereas today there was strong support from John Lamb of Birmingham Chambers of Commerce.
It's always been an option, but I think the disruption that HS2 is going to cause is going to be far less than upgrading the existing lines. And environmentally, HS2 have already said that any of the materials that are excavated as a result of building HS2 will be used in noise reduction measures and so on. So I think they've answered most of those objections.
These are all vested interests basically in the employ of HS2 and the Department of Transport, so they are going to say. It's interesting that the only reports that come out in favour of HS2 are people paid for by the Department of Transport, whereas those against it, ranged against HS2, are all independent.
Now, support across the House for this project seems to be slipping away ahead of a crucial vote this week.
That's right, Bob. Labour, as you know, have been getting a bit lukewarm on the whole concept of HS2, the £42 billion schedule cost of it, for some time now. They say they won't be issuing a blank cheque. Meanwhile, David Cameron is saying, well, without Labour support, it may die altogether. So this is really a crucial week for the project. Tomorrow's business case report will also be crucial. And just to muddy the waters slightly, we have a Labour MP called Kelvin Hopkins from Luton who's promoting another scheme which would reopen sections of the Great Central Railway that used to run through the Midlands, not to Birmingham, but it used to run through the Midlands up to Nottingham, Leicester, and cover much of the same ground as HS2. He says this could be reopened as a freight route which would divert freight traffic off existing lines, therefore creating the capacity that HS2 is designed to take up. Now, there would have to be spurs to Birmingham and all the rest of it, but that's all part of a plan. It's been considered in the past and not got anywhere, and although it is a dream in many people's eyes, I don't think at the moment there's much political will behind it either.
Bob, thank you for that report.